Hey, 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 out there, internet land. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Rich Wolf Radio. Today, we have an awesome guest with us, Dan Slatter, all the way from Australia. Dan is a hedge fund and private equity fund manager, and he's here to tell you all about what that means, what that entails. I know that many of you guys are just diving into investment funds, just starting to learn about how you can build wealth. So this is words right from the horse's mouth. You'll get to learn the inside scoop on what it is to be a fund manager and what a private equity or a hedge fund does exactly and how it can benefit you. Lastly, we'll learn how you can participate in an opportunity like this and what type of return you could expect from this type of investment. So stay tuned. Give a brief description of who you are and what it is that you do, Dan.
Well, I'm Dan Slatter. I'm currently in Australia. I'm looking at potentially creating a investment fund over here for the acquisition of about 5 or 6 engineering fabrication firms that I've tracked down, both on market, off market. See what we can do there. It's a new area for me that I've got to branch off into, and otherwise, I have spent the last 10 or so years in heavy construction, working as a safety advisor and trainer assessor over here. And so, yeah.
Okay, so you spent 10 years in construction and you decided that it was time to go ahead and put together a fund to make bigger moves. So, how did you get into the fund building space? How did that happen for you? Now, from what I'm understanding, you were at the blue collar worker level. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I would say I'm at the lower end or the upper end of the blue collar, and I have wanted to make a transition across into a business owner for quite a while. And after I've sourced the businesses that I'm looking at buying, I have realized that the lending economy here with our big banks are getting a little bit tighter and quite tight with the current global economy. So I thought there's got to be another way that we can fund our investments. So from there, I have gone down this path, which is where we met and we've connected, and I'm getting my head around the differences between America and Australia, because there's a lot of differences.
Certainly.
And just getting ahead around the different terminology, our rules, our regulations, and creating a pitch deck and whatnot, so I can get other people involved as well. So
Great,
so
great.
not at all.
No, that's wonderful. And that's actually what this show is designed for. The whole idea is that we're all kind of normal people trying to do bigger things in life. And these are the steps that we're taking to do it. That's pretty much what this whole show is about. This is a place for me to find someone who is a normal, down to earth, regular human being who is working to do something greater, right? So this is the process that person would take in order to make those things happen. I myself was in construction residential construction for about 16 years. And that's something that I found is a lot of people just don't know how to do the investment part. They don't understand how to bring together a team to make larger things happen, even on the development side. If all you've ever done is remodeling, renovation, maybe some roofs, you may not understand how to put together a team to go do a major development, or a subdivision or something like that. Or exactly. So it's interesting to see the learning process that someone goes through. And that's really what this is about. I kind of wanted to know who you are as a person and what brought you to the fund building space, as well as how is it working for you so far? How is the process coming along with you so far?
It's definitely a learning curve in trying to get my head around the different aspects of everything, of all the different components that we've got to pull together. Like I alluded to before, our terminology here and our expectations of our assets over here are very different to what your financial corporations are over there.
certainly.
but I'm getting my head around it. It's pretty much it's pretty similar structures where I think you guys you just use the term funds and whatever else. I think the way we have it structured is a PTY limited company that controls a trust,
Sure.
generally unit trust, and then we have trustees that control that, which is very similar, just different terminologies. We still got to have the trust deeds and that. Then we have our investors that contribute the money, and we grow that way. Very similar.
Very similar. Now, as a matter of
Similar.
fact, we do something very similar to that as well once you're on a little bit more advanced level. Now, I think a lot of the people on the bottom level are learning the GPLP structure. It's basically just an LLC, and you've got your main operating, general manager, your general partner, and everyone else is the investor, which is a limited partner under it. Now, that works until you get to a certain level where things need to be a little bit more uh, less hands-on and more corporatized, and that's where you would go with the trust, and you would have a full board of people over all of these other or corporate entities to do these things. So yeah, we do that too here. I think just when you're going through the basics of the foundational learning, that's probably not the first thing that they're throwing out as far as education. But yes, sir, very similar structure.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very similar
it is
structure.
similar. But I don't think I think I'm a relatively quick learner too, because I have been. Well, I haven't been in the space. I have been interested in business and that for a long time. So I have been involved with it. So I'm probably a bit more familiar than, say, other people with some of the basic setups that we do have at our disposal over here. Yeah, having said that, as far as approaching people for my pitch, I do work with a lot of, so I'm going to say not high net worth individuals over here, but we classify them as retail investors, where you guys classify them as you got a different classification for them. We've got retail investors over here.
Sure.
And from all accounts, for the most part, the people that I've worked with, I've expressed doing this with them. They have expressed in looking at and potentially participating in one of these funds now, because I do have close relationship with all these people and I want to see them succeed like I succeed.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
probably wouldn't have any sort of I wouldn't have any sort of European or American style waterfalls. It'll just be straight up for these guys because they are close to me. It'll just be an equity split. And we'll
Sure.
just keep that fund going for 10 or 15 years. I can see growth. I've got value, and I know I'm providing them value too. And then, mates looking after mates.
Certainly, certainly. And there's a
So,
ton of ways to structure a payment on there. And I think that every fund is slightly different. And as long as the investors are on board and have looked through the thesis or the prospectus and agree with it, then that's all that really counts. That's your job as the fund builder and manager to structure what you like. That's what makes your fund different than everyone else's. Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Sure. So
Absolutely.
okay, so I've got to ask, being brand new in the space and but having 10 years experience in the field, how hard or easy has it been for you to approach your peers about making investments? Has that been something you've struggled with, or is it real easy to say, "Hey, Johnny, I've been thinking about doing XYZ. Would you like to join in?" I mean, how hard has it been for you?
It's It has its moments because I am in the position that I'm in. I always get people coming and see me during my work hours saying, "Hey, Dan, we've got a problem here. Can you help us?" I said, "Yeah, as long as you sit down for a few minutes and you listen to me about what I'm trying to establish. So I'll help you if you help me." So, it's getting there. It's getting there.
No, that's
So,
wonderful. You're using the pick your brain approach. That's everybody wants to pick your brain all the time, and so now you're using that as a marketing tool. Sure, but you got to sit down and listen to this pitch first. I like it. I like it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Wonderful.
look at work.
Right. So you've got a collection of people before you even get launched. You've already got a collection of people who are willing to at least look at it. That's a promising thing for anybody who's out there thinking about this. Uh, Now, what is your next step going forward?
It's a multi-pronged question for that particular one. There's
Sure.
still a few more businesses that I'm waiting for to get financials and that sort of stuff through. Once I get financials, then I can really create the pitch deck and do my forecasting and whatnot, which is going to alleviate more potential problems and reduce the risk for us once we do get the money involved. So that's probably the biggest one that I've got now, like
Okay.
looking at our risk
Sure.
for some of these businesses, doing the forecasting, knowing how we can control them, management teams or whatnot, finding weaknesses, and then that's for the business aspect.
Okay, well, I
Then we
know that
can.
you're in an early stage right now, but just for the viewers out there that may be wondering, what would this, at this stage, what does it look like to invest, into this fund? Like, what would they expect as a minimum investment? What do you think they're possibly going to be looking at as a return? What have you thought about a lockup period? And those basic questions like that.
I've come to the conclusion, given our rules and regulations, that we'll probably have to have at least a $50,000 buy-in into the
Okay.
fund for one unit. We can go up to 20 people, which is what I was going to say, having to duplicate another fund so that we can do another 20 people to potentially get to the $2 million mark.
Uh, I know that you started telling us a little bit about it in the beginning, but no one really had any context of what was going on. Can you tell us again exactly how your fund works? What exactly is that you do, what you invest in, and how that's profitable?
So the business that I have sourced are off market. These are engineering fabrication businesses in the in the Australia area, specifically Queensland, New South Wales. Now I've sourced these businesses directly, so they're off market, and these are owners who are wanting to retire basically. So they're motivated to sell.
Excellent.
And so that's the biggest thing. And there's about five or six of them. They're ranging from $600,000 up to $3 million or $3.5 million. So what I'm hoping to do is utilize this fund, a combination of leverage buyouts in this fund to be able to acquire them, put them underneath one umbrella,
Sure. Going to do a
and
roll up.
slowly work through in doing a roll up. Just making sure we do it slowly, making sure we do it methodically.
Certainly.
And
Certainly.
then I've potentially also got some bigger equity funds who have also indicated that they might even buy that off me down the track once I get it through, a few more businesses involved. So I know all I was going to say is that most of the pieces of the puzzles are starting to fall into place. It's just a matter of funds, getting the funds now so that we can acquire some of these businesses, and away we go.
Certainly. I've got to tell you, Dan, you really got to pat yourself on the back. You're not just undertaking one chore or one task. You're doing multiple things here, and I'm very well aware of it. You're not only going into the fund building, which means that you're having to go out and raise capital, you're having to put together a legal structure, you're putting together an entire legal and financial team to make this happen. You're also going into acquisition entrepreneurship. You're actively looking for businesses to purchase, to acquire, to because you're not looking at starting one, you're looking at buying one that's already profitable and making it work for you. So you're really
Mm-hmm.
doing two different things there. So you've got a good plan. Let's go out and purchase profitable businesses, right, with motivated sellers. You've already got a lead list of good,
Mm-hmm.
good things there. Now it's, hey guys, here's the deal,
Mm-hmm.
let's get some funding together. I love what you're doing. You're following the plan exactly the way that should be from my perspective, and many of the other people who follow this type of business as well. That is the step. Come up with the deal first. Find your deals, find
Mm-hmm.
the gold, and then show it off and see who wants to buy it. So I love that you're doing that. Can you tell me, what do you see your life being like in 5 years from now?
Probably brain fried. I have a habit of taking, as you just alluded to, I have a habit of taking on too much for one person. So yeah, I'll probably be sitting in a fetal position in the corner somewhere, going, "Why have I done this?" But if and when everything all pans out, I do hope that we have been successful, and the fund is creating a dividend in return for the equity partners, i.e., our investors, and we're actually growing, and we can start to see the end of the tunnel by selling to the bigger equity funds once we've got our multiples up. So, and then that'll completely change our life over here. So that'll be good.
Coming from regular Joe blue collar worker, whether it be in the upper or lower scale, making this transition to not only entrepreneur, but an acquisition entrepreneur. You have bought something that's already successful and you've gone through the fund building process. Um, do you have any advice for anyone else that may be in a similar situation as yourself? Finds themselves working the 9 to 5, wants to do more. Uh, is there any one or two pieces of advice you could send, tell them?
Study, research, but most importantly, take action. Without taking action, regardless of how big or how small, without taking that, you won't get anywhere. So that's a vital bit of information there.
Excellent.
Learn, implement, correct. Because, like Robert Kiyosaki said, success lies in the fast side of failure. So just keep on going, learn your lessons, and eventually you'll get to where you need to get to. So,
Absolutely love it. I did take a look at Midgard Holdings earlier today, just because it was on the email, and I wanted to look. I don't know if the site's up, not working, or if it was just I didn't type anything in right. Is there a site that's up and running?
no, not as of yet. So that'll come. To try to maintain a professional appearance, I've just got the email address
Sure,
there. So it's so you're not using Yahoo and Gmail and
sure.
stuff like it. It just has a better
No, no,
professional appearance.
I totally
And
understand.
yeah, so in time I'll create the website. I've already got a few things in the development back there, but it's just not high on my priority at the moment. And yeah, just slowly, slowly.
Okay, so now we've discussed what it is that your fund does, the types of businesses that you are looking to purchase, and the minimum investment of a $50,000 buy in is what anyone's looking at. Now, if there happened to be a viewer out there that wanted to know more about that or to follow you along with your the track of building this out, how would they either get a hold of you or how could they learn more about what you're building?
They can reach out to me at d.slatter at Midgard Holdings, and that's with a z.com, and flick me an email, and I can send them through the PDF that I've created that outlines a framework of what we intend to do moving forward. And we can get your contact details, have a look at it, see how you feel, maybe get a soft commitment. And then once we're ready to pull the figure, we can get the hard commitments and execute this. So,
Great, great, great. So email is the best way to
yeah.
communicate with you, and I'll make sure that I do put a link to your email in the description below so that someone can reach out to you. I know this is a big thing when you're getting going is having all of the deal flow that you can possibly get while it's going. That's one of the reasons we have this show is to give exposure to people who are trying to build or who are actually actively working to do something positive. Now, the next question, and this goes back to the normal human being question. It's how does this change your life? Like, in truth, if it's successful and does exactly what you want it to do, what difference does that make to you and your family?
I haven't given it all that much thought, really. Hey, but while I always thought about long term successes and what we would do, it'd be very surreal initially to be able to have potentially have maybe a couple of $1 million sitting in the account to be able to just wake up and go, I'm free. I'm free of the 9 to 5 grind. That'll probably be my biggest. I can stop. I can be able to take the family away for travels, holidays, um, enjoy life without the stresses. While it's all good to say, I'm going to go buy some boats and cars and new houses and stuff like that, it's not the be all and end all. It's
Sure.
just a matter of being de-shackled from a 9 to 5 job and just being able to do what you want when you want. So that's what I hope to achieve at least.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
And that's what they say. It's being successful is hard work. It sure is. And being broke's hard too. So which hard do you want to choose? That's it. Which hard do you want to choose?
absolutely,
Yeah. Well, Dan, I think that's
yeah.
pretty well the questions that I had for you today on your fund and what it is that you do. I know that you're still in the early stages of building this. We would like to follow up with you in the next few months, if that would be all right with you, and keep track of how it goes, how regular people can make changes, for the future of their generations to come. And to see someone do it in real time like yourself, that's a real gift to a lot of the viewers out there that don't know that they have the ability to do this. So, hey, thanks for spending time with us and telling us, what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're building, and how any of these folks here would like to participate can get a hold of you. Thank you very much, Dan.
No worries at all. No worries at all. It's been an absolute pleasure. So once you have that email address, I can even give you my phone number, and I've also got a Facebook page there up and going that I'm also in the process of developing that everyone can use to reach out to me as well. So
Certainly send
and I'll
over
just
an
flick that
email
through
with,
to you in
yeah,
your
send
text
any
message
email
there.
that you have with any information, any links that you like. And as I'm doing the description for the video and titles and posts and everything else that we do for the social media, I can include those links for you. The way I look at it is, if you're going to come over here and sit down and do an interview and try to get some exposure, it's the best I can do to try to get you that exposure and actually give someone a call to action to get a hold of you, or if nothing else, a place to go learn more. I mean, I'm not going to try to be an advocate for anybody's fund. I don't know. You might be a scallywag and a scoundrel. I don't know. But that's the idea, is that there's no way for anyone to know what it is that you have going on unless there's a platform to tell them and a way to tell the public, hey, this is what we're doing here to change the future of all of our lives, and this is how you can be a part of it. So thank you once again very much for spending your time with us, Dan.